You know that moment on a trip when your whole plan just quietly melts away? That was us in Naran. I was standing at the hotel window, late afternoon, watching clouds slowly swallow the mountains. We had this perfect sunset viewpoint in mind, cameras charged, jackets ready, and then the first raindrop hit the road outside.
And not just a cute little drizzle. Within minutes, the whole main road of Naran looked like it had been washed. Headlights reflecting in the wet, bikes making that shh sound on the asphalt, and us just staring out the window thinking, well, there goes the golden hour.
Exactly. You could almost feel the mood in the hotel change. People who were ready to explore just sank into their beds, opened their phones, started scrolling and complaining about the clouds.
I remember I looked at you and said very seriously, as if I had a master plan, so chai?
And that was it. No big adventure, no dramatic decision. Just, if we're gonna be stuck, let's at least be stuck in the bazaar with hot chai and some rain on our jackets instead of just blue light from our screens.
But before we ran out like excited kids, we did a quick gear check. And this part matters because Naran in the rain is cozy, but it can also be cold and slippery if you're careless.
Yeah, we did the classic doorside checklist. Jackets first, not super heavy winter jackets, just something that cuts the wind and keeps the drizzle off. Then we argued for a minute about umbrellas versus hoods.
I am team umbrella all the way, especially in a bazaar. It's not just about staying dry. It's about not having cold water running down the back of your neck while you're trying to enjoy samosas.
I was more like, hood, hands free, let's go. But we compromised. One umbrella, both of us sharing, plus our hoods. And very important, shoes with grip. If you only remember one thing from this episode, remember this. Wet, sloping streets plus smooth soles is a bad combination.
Please, no fancy, slippery city shoes for a rainy Naran night. Go for joggers or light hiking shoes. And if you can, avoid those worn-out soles that are already shiny at the bottom. That shine is not your friend.
So, jackets on, umbrella out, phones in our pockets but zipped, and one simple rule for the electronics. If you don't have a waterproof cover, even a basic plastic bag from the hotel can be a lifesaver.
Yeah, that little grocery bag from our snacks, that became our camera cover. Budget travel hack right there.
We stepped out of the hotel and instantly the sound changed. Inside, everything was muted and soft. Outside, the whole town had this fresh, alive noise. Cars rolling through water, rain tapping on tin roofs, a generator humming somewhere, and distant laughter from a group under an awning.
And that smell, that mix of wet earth, a hint of pine from the hills around, and someone nearby grilling kebabs. You don't get that sitting in your room complaining that your plan is ruined.
Now, safety rule time, but in a very simple way. As we started walking down towards the main bazaar, we did one thing consciously. We slowed down. No rushing to cross the road, no running to chase the best samosa stand.
Especially near slopes and stairs. Naran's roads aren't flat like a football field. There are small inclines, cracked patches, and those sneaky puddles near the edges where the road meets the drain. That puddle might be ankle deep, or it might be a surprise you remember for the rest of the trip.
So we aimed our steps where we could see the road clearly, kept just a bit away from the edge, and hugged the side where the shops are. The shop awnings become your best friends on a rainy evening in Naran.
And suddenly, the whole bazaar felt different from the usual dry, dusty evenings. You had this line of umbrellas moving like colorful mushrooms, shop lights reflecting in the puddles, and every awning had little drops sliding off the edge.
We started doing what I call awning hopping, moving from one covered stretch to another. No hurry, just strolling. On one side, stalls with warm caps and shawls hanging, raindrops catching on the wool. On the other side, shops selling rain covers and basic hiking gear.
This is where it's easy to overbuy, by the way. You're feeling cold, everything looks useful, and suddenly you're negotiating for your third beanie that you definitely did not need.
Guilty. My rule now is one thing for warmth, max. If you're freezing, grab a simple cap or a pair of warm socks from a local stall. They're usually affordable, and honestly, wearing something you bought there adds to the memory.
And take 30 seconds to check the stitching and thickness. Hold it in your hands, give it a little stretch. You don't have to be a gear expert. Just check it doesn't feel like it will fall apart the same night.
We also wandered past snack shops, rows of chips, biscuits, those colorful local sweets. It's tempting to stock up like there's a storm coming, but for a short rainy walk, we kept it simple. One packet to share, and saved our appetite for proper chai and samosas.
Yeah, because the real star of a rainy Naran evening is the dhaba stop. So while we were under the awnings, we were quietly scanning for our chai spot.
We had a few rules. First, it had to be busy, but not so packed that you're elbow to elbow and breathing on each other. Busy usually means the food is fresh and the chai is actually being made, not reheated.
Second, ventilation. Very important. In the rain, people close shutters and plastic coverings to keep the wind out, but then the inside can feel like a sauna with steam and smoke. We looked for an open side, a fan running, or at least some cross breeze.
We finally spotted this small dhaba with its front open to the street, steam rising straight out of big steel kettles. You could see the chapati guy working right by the tandoor, and there was this gentle cloud of steam drifting into the cool air.
There were a couple of families inside, a group of friends sharing a huge plate of samosas, and one traveler quietly reading something on his phone, just enjoying the background noise. Good sign. Not chaotic, but definitely alive.
We shook off the umbrella, found a table where we could still see the street, and ordered the basics: 2 dooth potty chai, a plate of samosas, and fresh chapati. Nothing fancy, nothing Instagram obsessed, just comfort food.
I still remember that first sip. You have the rain sound behind you, your jacket is still a bit damp from the walk, your hands are wrapped around this hot glass, and the chai is strong, sweet, and just a little too hot, so you have to take tiny, careful sips.
The samosas came out with that perfect timing, where you can hear them still crackling a little from the oil. We tore them open, the steam rushed out, and for a moment, everyone at the table just went quiet. That's the golden silence of good food.
And outside, the rain started to soften. You could hear fewer big drops and more of that soft, misty sound. The lights on the street had halos around them because of the moisture in the air. It felt like the whole town had taken a deep breath and calmed down.
What made that evening special wasn't just the food or the rain. It was all the tiny moments in between. The shopkeeper who laughed when I asked if his rain covers were Naran-proof, and he said, they survived last week, they'll survive you.
Or the kid at the cap stall who proudly told us he could guess where tourists were from just by how they held an umbrella. I think he put us in the overexcited city people category.
We also decided to pick one small souvenir from that night. Not an expensive carved thing, not a huge decoration, just something simple that would instantly bring back that rainy bazaar in my mind.
You chose that little keychain with a tiny metal boat and Naran written on it. I remember asking, why a boat? And you just shrugged and said, because today the streets look like a river.
And it worked. Even now, when I see that keychain, I don't think about missing the sunset. I think about wet streets, reflecting shop lights, the friendly faces in the bazaar, and that warm chai glass in my hands.
By the time we paid the bill and stepped back onto the street, the rain had turned into a fine mist. The air was cooler, cleaner, and that pine smell from the hills around Naran had become so sharp and fresh.
We walked slowly back towards the hotel. No rush to get inside. The road was still wet, so we kept that same rule. Short, careful steps, avoiding the deeper puddles near the edge, especially where the light didn't hit properly.
People were quieter now. You could hear a bus starting somewhere far, someone closing a shutter, distant laughter. And above all of that, this soft hiss of the river in the valley, mixing with the last bits of rain.
Standing at the hotel door again, we looked out at the same street we had seen earlier in the afternoon. Same place, same trip, but our feeling had completely changed. That ruined evening actually became one of my favorite Naran memories.
Because instead of fighting the weather, we just adjusted the plan. Short walk instead of a long hike, umbrellas and good shoes instead of perfect photos, chai and samosas instead of a viewpoint.
So if you're listening to this while planning a trip, or maybe already in a northern town, staring sadly at the rain on your window, here's a simple rainy evening formula you can steal.
Step 1, accept the weather. No drama, no trip is ruined speeches. Just say, okay, tonight is a slow, cozy night.
Step 2, gear up smartly. Light jacket, something for your head, shoes with grip, and a simple plastic bag or cover for your phone and camera.
Step 3, short bazaar loop. Stick to the main, well-lit streets, move from awning to awning, buy only what you really need, maybe one warm item and one small snack.
Step 4, pick a chai spot that's busy but breathable. Watch the steam rise, listen to the rain sounds, and let yourself slow down.
Step 5, choose one low-cost souvenir that will remind you of that exact evening. It could be a keychain, a cap, even a simple mug with the town's name on it.
And step 6, walk back slowly, paying attention to the air, the smells, the sounds. That's how a wasted, rainy night turns into your coziest mountain memory.
If you want help planning your own version of this, whether you're going to Naran or any similar northern town, we've put together a little bad weather mini plan for you.
Yeah, on our website, you'll find a simple, printable checklist with packing tips for rain, cozy activity ideas, and a small space to write down your own rainy evening story. Next time the clouds roll in, just treat it as an invitation to slow down, not a cancellation.
So when the sky surprises you in the northern areas, don't hide from it. Grab your umbrella, grab a friend, and let the town show you its quieter, softer side.
All right, that's it from our rainy Naran evening. I'm Sharjeel with Abdullah, and this was Travel Dairy. We'll see you in the next story from another corner of the northern skies.